一緒に行こう。ハチマー。
Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokémon Journeys episode 73, Captain Pikachu, Head 4th Falinks. This was the 1158th episode of the Pokémon anime, and the first new episode in quite a while. Ever since the last new episode of Journeys, we got a 1-hour recap special along with a preview trailer for Dawn's return. In case you missed it, I made a video recapping the 1-hour special, I made another video about Dawn's return, and an extra video talking about Project Mew. If you missed any of those three, go ahead and check them out. I'll be sure to link them all in the description so you can watch them after you're done with this review. Also, just wanted to say thank you straight off the bat today. My channel recently passed a couple of milestones, which is always exciting to see. No time to rest though, next stop is 2,000 subs. So the episode starts in Galar, where we see a group of Ice-Q in their natural habitat, before one of them drifts away by itself on accident. More on that guy later. Over at the Cerise Park, it's feeding time, and a group of Pokemon line up in order to get some berries from Raichu. Professor Cerise points out that Pokemon in a line reminds him of a Falinks, and Ash and Go suddenly want to see one, so they decide to go to Galar. Seriously? That's all it takes nowadays to set up an episode? I mean, there have been some weird ideas throughout Journey so far, but this was one of the funniest ways to set up an episode yet, in my opinion. Professor Cerise sees some Pokemon line up, and suddenly the boys are on the next flight to Galar. Makes sense. Speaking of Galar, our Ice-Q friend has continued to drift away from its home, so much so that the ice block it was on starts to melt and break apart. It eventually does melt entirely, and we leave Ice-Q for now just drifting away wherever the ocean decides to take it. Meanwhile, Ash and Go are somewhere in Galar. I suppose the safe assumption for this episode is that they were somewhere around Route 8 and 9 from Sword and Shield, near Kirchester. Go thinks he sees a Pokeball sticking out of the ground, but it's just a Galarian Stunfisk, which Go catches immediately. Cut back to Ice-Q, and it washed up on shore somewhere before tripping over a Galarian Slowpoke, crashing into a rock, and breaking its ice face. It steals some ice from a local vendor who somehow has superhuman strength and is able to throw it halfway up a cliff where it lands in the back of a pickup truck. The episode continues to bounce around. I'm not sure how much I actually liked this format with the constant switches and all, but either way, Ash and Go have found some Falinks, while Ice-Q has fallen out of the truck and slides down a hill on its ice face before falling into a nearby river. After observing a few groups of Falinks, Grookey pisses off a rather uncoordinated group of Falinks who try to attack Ash and Go, only for Pikachu to nail them with a Thunderbolt, sending them all in different directions. Go chases after the group's captain, while Ash stays behind with the rest of them. We finally get some overlap between our two parallel stories this episode when Ice-Q floats by Go and Falinks, but that was it for now. The Falinks captain is kind of down on itself. It's hesitant to return to the others because it feels like it's not doing a good job leading them, or at the very least, it's just sad that they aren't working very well together. Back over with Ash and Pikachu, the rest of the Falinks group are looking for a new captain to follow, much to Pikachu's discomfort. Ash tries to break them up, but, well...
Ash is making a fool of himself again.
We get another quick scene about Ice-Q. Wow, I'm getting tired of switching back and forth here. Meanwhile, Go decides to help Falinks out and sends out some of his other Pokemon to practice walking in formation. It doesn't go so well. This practice scene was kind of cheesy, but I was enjoying it in all honesty. Go seems to be making some progress with Falinks, while Ash and Pikachu, not so much. Eventually, the group is back together. No, not that one, the Falinks. Their captain is much more confident now thanks to Go's training, and they look a lot more like a solid unit. Just then, our good buddy Ice-Q pops out of the woods and runs straight into the group of Falinks. Ash and Go are surprised to see the Ice-Q, but are even more excited at the prospect of seeing the two Pokemon have a battle. They do start battling each other, and after some initial back and forth, the Falinks start to work together really well and end up kind of taking the advantage, so much so that Ice-Q loses its ice face. Its other form is called Noise Face, right? Nice Face? Noise Face? I mean, it's not pronounced No Ice Face, right? I don't think so. Or someone correct me down in the comments. Ice-Q really doesn't like losing its ice face, so it runs away. By this point in the episode, I was on Ice-Q's side. I felt bad for it here. It had been having a terrible day, and now it lost its precious ice face. I mean, it was so rattled that it even ran straight off a cliff. Wow. The evil villains are celebrating, having defeated the innocent Ice-Cube, and the Falinks want to go back with Go. I can't believe this was actually a surprise to him. I mean, I just couldn't really believe Go hadn't already tried to catch the Falinks. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. Everyone lives happily ever after as Go celebrates another capture after a successful day of research. The boys actually have a quick exchange right at the end of the episode about how cool it was researching Pokemon in Galar, and they agree to come back here more so they can learn more about the region and its Pokemon. That was a small detail, but a really cool one in my opinion. If you thought the episode was done already, think again. After falling into that river all sad and without its ice face, the lonely Ice-Cube has drifted all the way back to colder waters, which not only refroze its face, but it also drifted straight back to its home. Aw, what a nice way to end the episode. I'm giving this episode a 6 out of 10 rating. As you can probably imagine, there's not a ton of analysis I can give for this episode. I enjoyed it, that's for sure, but I wonder how much this had to do with not getting a new Journeys episode the past 2 weeks. I mean, I pretty much would have enjoyed anything this week since we just haven't seen anything new in a while. The Falinks stuff was alright, but what was the point of giving so much airtime to Ice-Cube?
We have to fill a half hour.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna chalk this up as another filler episode. It's always fun for me to see Go catch some new Pokemon, and even though his bonding with Falinks was kind of cheesy, it wasn't bad, so I can't really say anything negative about it. Arguably, the most interesting part was that scene at the end when Ash and Go were like, oh, isn't Galar so cool? We should come back here some more. I think this episode did a good job checking off a few more Pokemon that we haven't seen yet in this series, and obviously they've still got a lot of ground to cover when it comes to introducing Galar Pokemon into the anime. Will I probably forget about this episode in a month or so? There's a high possibility of that. But for now, I can say that I enjoyed it and that it put a smile on my face, so that's enough for me. Now for what everyone is really excited about, Dawn's return is next week. This preview didn't really give us a whole lot of new information. Apparently the setup is that people in Sinnoh are having nightmares. Yep, that sounds like Darkrai to me. Chloe was apparently set to go on a family vacation to Sinnoh, but her parents canceled on her, so she and Eevee are just gonna go by themselves, which is where they'll meet Dawn. I thought the shot of Chloe being all annoyed and asking Dawn, "Who are you?" was pretty funny. Like I mentioned earlier, I already did a full 12-minute video previewing Dawn's return arc, and remember that she will be not just in next week's episode, but the following one as well. This preview had stuff about Team Rocket and Matori, which was something I discussed in my other video, so be sure to check it out if you haven't yet. That's all I've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and all the usual nonsense. I did just briefly want to say here at the end, since I'm guessing all of the casuals have clicked off the video by this point, that I know the last few days have been pretty tough for members of the AniPoke community, mainly on Twitter, but also on other platforms. I'm not going to dive into specifics right now, but if you know, you know, and I just wanted to voice my support for the victims involved in this situation. It's incredibly brave and courageous of them to step up and speak about this stuff. I just hope that this can be the first step to making our community a better place. There really is no tolerance for stuff like this, and I know everyone is probably going through some range of different emotions right now, and really everyone is just going to process things like this differently. My quick words of advice are that if you have a lot of thoughts and feelings, I do suggest reaching out to someone, whether that's talking it out with a close friend or family member, or even reaching out to a professional. On the other hand, if you can, please be empathetic to other people, be willing to listen and hear some other people vent if they need to, and let's just try our best to be nice to each other, especially now considering everything that's been going on. I'm certainly always here for support. You guys know how to reach me. I've kind of made my mind up about the situation and I'm ready to wash my hands and move on, but like I said before, everyone is going to process this differently, so if you need to, please take as much time as you need to heal and think through all the different feelings you may have. I know that we will get through this. Hopefully we'll get through this together, and hopefully we'll get through this stronger, and our community can be a better, safer place. Thanks again for watching and listening, and I'll see you guys next time.